Let's be honest about the One Piece live action, Season 1 and Season 2. I'm gonna talk about the good and the bad, based on my opinion and my taste. Again guys, my taste. And if I'm criticizing the live action, I'm not criticizing the actors but the direction that the showrunner gives. Again, not the actors. I'm sorry if this doesn't line up with yours, but we digest art differently. First thing first, I'm a One Piece fan. I read the manga, I watch the anime, and I watched the live action. So I think I got enough context to have an opinion here. And look, some of this is gonna sound harsh, but I'm saying it because I actually care about these characters. So let's get into it. Starting with Sanji. In the manga, I really love Sanji. Sanji for me is the type of cringe gentleman guy when it comes to girls, but he always clutches when the time is necessary. In the anime as well, on the earliest episodes, he's exactly like that. Gentleman but still super down bad guy and doing the most for girls. But still, he's likable. But then the Gooner Sanji started in Thriller Bark. But after time skip, man, I don't like Sanji in the anime. Straight up, I don't like him. In live action Season 1 though, I think the best performance in the entire season is Sanji. Shout out to Taz. When I watched Sanji first meet the Straw Hats and he's talking to Nami like that, bro, that is Sanji. Sanji is the type of cringe gentleman like that. To be clear, for me, live action is supposed to interpret based on the showrunner's vision, but not change the character so much that the core audience can't recognize them anymore. So what I mean is, live action Sanji doesn't have to have love-shaped eyes. Jokes from the anime won't land in live action. But also, don't change the core of the character. And for me, Season 1 Sanji nailed it. The cringe thing, the gentleman thing, the jokes with Mosshead, even the trying to look handsome that makes us cringe. That is Sanji for me. But in Season 2, I was disappointed with Sanji as a character. The whole issue for me here is that One Piece live action as a show wants to make it like Hollywoodish style. For example, Sanji hugs Nami. I understand that's a Western thing for friends, but bro, it breaks the character. Maybe because I'm Asian or something? It's just weird for me. Nami will punch Sanji in his face if he does that. And then the dynamic between Nami and Sanji is kinda weird too. The atmosphere between them feels romantic. If I'm not mistaken, Oda said he will consistently maintain that there will be no romance or romantic relationships among the Straw Hat Pirates. Example 2, Sanji crying over Nami being sick, then he tells his story about his childhood and he's crying again. I mean, bro, Sanji is supposed to be a gentleman. From what I remember, Sanji only cries in Barati when he say goodbye to Zeph, and in Whole Cake when he kicks Luffy's face. And those two moments are the reason why Sanji's character works and hits so many hearts. Because we all know that Sanji is a gentleman and kind-hearted man, and he cries because he kicked his captain. That's what makes it hit. Overall, Sanji is MVP in Season 1, but in Season 2, I don't see Sanji here. Again, the direction, not the actor. Taz single-handedly promoted the entire show himself on YouTube. You have to respect that. And how about Zoro? Zoro for me in the manga and anime has always been the main guy. If Sanji is the soft gentleman, Zoro is the hard one. Zoro is Luffy's sword, Sanji is Luffy's shield. Zoro is one of my favorite characters after Luffy. In the manga and anime, I think Zoro remains consistent. Disciplined, ambitious, cool, but still stupid, funny, and I think it feels more human. In pre-time skip we see Luffy and a bunch of characters with devil fruits like a monsters, right? So watching Zoro, who trains with discipline and wins the fight, is satisfying. No wonder Zoro is the favorite character in the show. However, in live action, I don't think so. Live action Zoro is kinda off. I don't see Zoro's character in Season 1. He looks too stoic. Sigma male type. Why did the showrunner do that to my boy, man? I mean, Zoro post-time skip is like that. Always serious and always, cool, but pre-time skip Zoro should not be like that, man. The good example of Zoro being Zoro is in Season 2. In Season 2, Zoro as a character is a little bit better, I think. When we saw his dumbass side and the "so it's a girl whale" line, yeah, that's Zoro. The fight scene is also cool in Whiskey Peak. But some of the changes that the showrunner did that I love in the live action is that they made Zoro always see Mihawk when he's training. So now his obsession became a mental thing. I love how they changed that. That's why the inconsistency of the good and the bad drives me crazy. I mean, they can make a good adaptation, but why only in some parts? Different from Zoro, Usopp I think is the best adaptation here. For me, Usopp in live action is delivered perfectly. Jacob did a really great job here. Even in Season 2, I think Usopp is the MVP here. In the manga, I like Usopp. I can see his struggle and also the jokes. But in the anime, man, can't stand him. I think he's so annoying in the anime. But in live action though, the jokes are so perfect. How Jacob delivers the lines, the jokes, the insecurity, it's perfect for me. I will not change a thing about Usopp, man. And for me, Usopp here feels very natural, not trying to force anything or doing too much. Even how he runs is really good, and we can see, in his head, he's constantly thinking like, what can I contribute and stuff. Man, I just really like Usopp here. I think Usopp became my favorite character in live action season 2. In Logetown, I also love when Usopp goes to get his goggles, and they're being worn by this girl. Her name is Carol, and she's buying these goggles for her father, Daddy Masterson. Next is Luffy. This is gonna be hard. Again, Luffy is my favorite character of all time. I also kinda see Luffy and Inaki, but what they did in the live action to Luffy makes me not want to watch the show. Because in most of the scenes, they try to make Luffy like other good boy main characters, which Luffy is not. Luffy is not a talking guy. Oda uses the technique show don't tell for Luffy. We just know Luffy without Luffy talking with speeches. But not all of Luffy's moments here are bad though. In Little Garden, in this moment, that is Luffy. This is Luffy, see? That makes me frustrated. They can deliver Luffy as Luffy, but only in Little Garden. Other than that, I don't see Luffy at all. My guess is that the showrunner is watching One Piece with English dub. Luffy is so cringe, man, in live action. I'm really sorry to say that. I do really love Luffy as a character, and the live action just doesn't deliver that. However, it's so interesting that when Luffy was singing Binks Saki to Laboon, he was doing the Nika dance. I think it's a good change. I do believe that Inaki can deliver us the Luffy that we know. If you watch their promotion videos, you can tell that Inaki is basically Luffy. And we can also see Makinu as Zoro getting annoyed by Inaki as Luffy there. You can see Emily as Nami there when she argues with Inaki. So my point is not about the actor, but the showrunner and the direction. I like how the live action is clearly trying to make new fans think that Roger is Luffy's father. Because when I first watched One Piece, I thought Roger was Luffy's father as well, just basic shonen thing. One potential issue with Logetown is that it very clearly sets Dragon up to be Luffy's father. I do like including the Garp conversation with Roger about Ace earlier, as it does definitely misdirect viewers who are not familiar with One Piece to the conclusion that Roger is probably Luffy's father, meaning that whenever Dragon is revealed, it'll actually be a surprise. Same with Ace as well. And also, me personally, I think Luffy in the anime and manga feels too OP until we saw Crocodile and others. But in live action, they portray Luffy as very weak character. I don't know why. From season 1, Luffy even admits to Arlong that he can't beat him. He says, maybe I can't beat you. Whereas in the manga, what Luffy says is that the only thing he can do is beat Arlong. It's completely the opposite. Again, I don't understand the direction here. I don't have any complaints about Chopper here, honestly. I think episode 7, season 2 live action is the best episode in the show. Chopper in the manga, anime, and live action has always been cute. The best merchandise Oda ever created. As a character, Chopper remains consistent though, which is good. Cute, the dialogue also good, not cringe. And the most important thing is lovable. However, I see how the show wants to make Chopper's human form as a monster. But Chopper's human form in the manga and anime is much softer for a reason. I think because Oda intentionally humanizes Chopper to us as readers and watchers. The people of Drum Island look at him and they see a monster, but we look at him and see a person because the point is to feel connected to him. In manga and anime, when Dr. Hiluluk finds wounded Chopper in the snow, Chopper is actually in his human form. And this is important because Chopper should be the scary monster, right? However, despite that, all Hiluluk saw was a person in need of help. So Hiluluk is the first person to recognize Chopper beyond the facade of looking like a monster. But in the live action, Hiluluk finds Chopper in his cute chibi form, which is an absolutely heartbreaking scene. But it does take a bit away from Hiluluk's gesture, because it now gives the impression that Hiluluk is being sympathetic to a cute wounded pet he found outside, rather than seeing the humanity in a monster. But overall, Dr. Hiluluk and Kureha in live action nailed it 100%. I just love it. In fact, a lot of supporting characters are just perfect. For example, Mr. 9, Mr. 5, Miss Valentine, even Vivi. I like Vivi here. But for me, the best one is Mr. 3. Bro, how he delivers Mr. 3 is perfect. Such a maniac psycho. Crazy. I'm a big fan of David as well. And also Miss All Sunday, Nico Robin. Holy crab, how they found her. It's just 100% spot on so far. I will say so far. So overall, the cast is spot on. I liked Brogy. Dory, not so much. Dory is not believable enough for me, and the wardrobe is kinda weird. Meanwhile, Nami. In the manga and anime, I like Nami. She was my first favorite character in the series when I first watched it. And in the live action, Emily is also doing a really great job. I think the problem with Nami in the manga and anime is just because there are a lot of characters that need the spotlight, so Nami somehow gets less spotlight. Which makes sense, and that's the cost of having so many characters. However, in live action season 2, I don't know why, I don't feel the Nami energy, if that makes sense. She's too calm. I understand they want to portray Nami as the adult on the ship, but the soul is missing in season 2. But again, man, when they do promotions and do YouTube things, they're really close to the crew's characters. I mean, the energy is there. Emily is being excited like Nami, Inaki is doing Luffy things, and so on. So I believe in the actors, but not so much in the direction of the showrunner. I argued with my friend about this, and his argument was like, but it's confirmed that Oda himself is on the set to make sure everything is correct. My question is, are you 100% sure Oda is there? Really? While the manga and the anime keep going? Day 1, maybe yeah, but the entire show is impossible. So my point is, I think this is still too Hollywoodish, and I don't blame it. They're trying to pull new fans and also keep the old fans. But for me as an old fan, most of the time, I watch the live action show and mostly feel like, try not to cringe. I'm not saying everything's like that. Some parts are good, some parts are bad. It is what it is, and it's only my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think about the live action. What character do you think was adapted the best? What character did they mess up? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thank you for watching. Seriously,